Hi, today's very exciting. I have Marc Craig with me and we're just going to talk all about you. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me do this.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. So you are our third artist in the spotlight this year.
Okay.
So this is a new thing that we've created with the Bickerton Grace Gallery. So what we want to do is for a whole week is shine the light on you.
Literally.
Literally. I think why it's important, before we start talking about you, is to give a bit of a background of the artist.
Absolutely.
We all love art, we love to know about the art, but we love to know about the creator of this piece of artwork.
It's very important.
Yeah, so this is just a really nice little insight into you. And then over the week, we'll be posting things about what you're doing, what's happening.
Nice.
I don't think a week is long enough, because there's a lot going on with you.
Yes.
So let's just start with who is Marc Craig? Where did it all begin?
So, I think it all began for me in 2014. Actually, it began in 2012 because in April 2012, right at the end of the month, I had my last drink.
Wow, okay.
So I've been sober now nearly for about 11 years.
Amazing.
And about, so I went into recovery, what is inverted recovery, but it was about 2 months into recovery. I've always been creative, but the whole thing came online. Literally 2 months in, I had this surge of creative energy and started indulging massive drawings, wanted to paint on walls,
Wow.
wanted to grab every kind of material and make stuff and do stuff. And it was amazing. It was a little bit overwhelming. And in 2012, I moved to London, and 2014 discovered Leake Street. So I had this little time to kind of accustomize to this amazing creative energy, which had lain dormant because, you know, obviously alcohol kills it off.
Yeah.
You don't need to drink to be an artist. This is
You really
a misnomer.
don't.
No.
Yeah.
And then I built up this kind of creative process, and then I discovered Leake Street in 2014. I had walked past it so many times. A lot of people do this, I think.
Some people don't even know it's there.
I still don't know it's there.
Yeah.
But literally, I walked past it and saw something was going on. And one day I thought, I'm going to go and see what it's all about. And it literally changed my life. So I went in one end of the tunnel, the north end, which is the London Eye. Went in, came out on the south end, and I was a completely different person. Because what that place has given me from then until now, is the opportunity to truly explore what creativity is in a way that I had no comprehension. It taught me about collaboration. It taught me about maverickism, if that's a word. You know, the inner maverick as a source of creative potential. Everybody has an inner maverick. But also the collaboration thing, I wish to God they had taught me this at art college. I started connecting with so many other people in a creative way that transformed my work and opportunity.
Do you know what as well? You're a natural connector. From the moment I met you, when you came in here, actually, you are one of those people that when you want to brainstorm or you want to get your creative energy up.
We went from the front door to your studio downstairs, and my head was buzzing. When you meet the right person,
it's like
the exchange builds up. You know when you're in the groove because the excitement builds, the ideas suddenly come out of nowhere, and then by the time you leave the building, like I left the other end of Leake Street, you are literally a conveyor belt of potential and ideas and creative projects. And it continues to this day. Every time I go to Leake Street or I connect somebody by proxy to Leake Street, the whole thing builds up and becomes more and more.
Energy that you get in the stomach and in the kind of the throat, everything tightens up.
For me, it's interesting. It comes, it's in the chest. I know when I'm in that creative zone because it's an expansion of my chest energy, whatever the chakra that is. I don't know, but it really comes from here. It just expands, and It's an amazing. So I've literally, referencing artwork from Leake Street, the big turning point. I had connected with a bunch of artists, and initially it was this Russian artist, young chap, and I said, let's do a collaboration. I was like, where am I going with this? So we painted the whole wall, the curved wall, and I've got images I can send to you.
Yeah.
We painted the curved wall, and we just had black spray, and we were spraying the wall, and out of nowhere came this amazing artwork. We were just doodling unconsciously, and it stood out like a sore thumb because it wasn't, the normal thing to do down there. And that went to about 9 of us or 10 of us doing the ceiling on Leake Street, and it's still there now.
Yeah,
that was 2015.
We saw you there. We came to meet you at Leake Street when you were doing one of the murals.
Yeah.
And you were pointing that out to us.
So the curved wall, basically, when we did the curved wall, it was the start of the Leake Street experience, where everything started becoming vibrant and exciting and interesting. And the one thing that we got from that is, when you work together as a collaboration, you can cover a very big space in a very short time.
Yeah.
It increases my artistry, it inspires it, it expands it, it becomes better. Every time I collaborate with somebody, it becomes better. But the one thing that we noticed is, if I'm doing a piece on the wall, or as opposed to me having a piece of artwork in the gallery, I'm there. I'm actually there doing the piece. So people would, like I said to you before, I thought they were taking the piss, but they actually legitimately were, are you an artist? Even though I had the can in my hand, I'm spraying around, they haven't seen one before.
And that's a bonkers idea, isn't it?
It's bonkers, but it makes complete sense.
It does. Of course it does.
There is this kind of allure of an idea. So I really enjoyed talking to the people and getting connected with them. And a really good example, there was a young couple. So when you get to the end of a mural, you can give the can away. I don't want to take her home because I was literally going from Waterloo to Kennington with my wheelbarrow. I had a wheelbarrow full of paints. So this young couple came up and they said, are you an artist? And I'm like, yes, I am. And then I said, look, I'm finishing. Would you like a can? This is like a 30-something couple. I gave them the cans and they ran off like kids. That's what Leake Street does. It brings out the inner kid. Started spraying random, nonsensical stuff, but they were having a good time. They came back. She works for Nescafe.
Oh.
She created an opportunity for me to do the London Coffee Festival about 3 or 4 months later. I did a mural for them for that, and then I also did a live mural. And from that, I ended up doing the design on their dispensing coffee machines.
Amazing.
Because I gave them 2 cans.
Yeah. You didn't just give them 2 cans.
No, exactly.
You gave them a hell of a lot more. You gave them your energy and your...
So the whole thing about Leake Street, it reminded me that it is not about me. So the more I give to the system, the universe, whatever you want to call it, it becomes a reciprocal effect, and it's very quick.
Yeah.
And that's what Leake Street does for me.
Yeah.
It constantly gives. So
I think
now,
that's one of the first things you said to me when I met you.
Yeah.
What you give out.
Usually about 10%. So it could be whatever that quantifies to me in the time. But if you give something back to the system, the whole thing starts really kicking up again. And that is my experience from the moment we did that curved. In my artist ego was like, I want it all to myself. But the realization was you will get a lot more if you share it with other people.
Yeah.
So when we did it, and it was all spontaneous, it's still up there now, and it's been photographed so many times, but that has led to meeting you.
Yeah.
There you go. If I hadn't done that curved and shared it, I wouldn't be here right now talking to you. I wouldn't have done this piece here if I hadn't done that piece. The wonderful thing about my experience is that all these independent projects, individuals, opportunities are actually all connected. All connected.
Yeah.
And it's all down to Leake Street.
Yeah. which we'll go into more. The thing about Leake Street as well is because when I came there to see you, that walk from the beginning, as you go through and there's all the people dancing and they're kind of getting in the vibe, and that energy builds and builds and builds and builds, and then you were at the other end doing that massive long wall. And by the time we got to you, it was just like, whoa, and it's the light, everything, isn't it? It just kind of carries you into a mode. But then when we left you creating, we went through to the other side. Your creation didn't finish because we went to a bar.
Yes. So the bar is an extension of the curve. The vaults.
The vault.
Opened Vaulty Towers. They took over a bar in Lower Marsh. Lower Marsh, by the way, is as vibrant as it is because of Leake Street.
Leake Street, of course.
You know, but they gave me the opportunity to decorate the walls.
Yeah.
And recently I've redone the mural because obviously it degrades over time. So Vaulty Towers, which I'll show some images for you, is a great opportunity to extend that recycle. That came from.
How long did that one take?
That one took about. The downstairs one took a bit of time because it's on the ceiling. The cellar that took about a week or maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which in street art terms is quite a long time.
What took you so long?
Yeah, but the outside one probably took about the same because it was all in pen.
Because it's all the way, isn't it? Both sides.
All the whole thing.
Oh, amazing.
The wonderful thing recently is, so I have created Leake Street Galleries.art, which is an online gallery version of the energy and what that represents in a gallery form.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a whole year of free exhibitions.
Amazing.
And
these are all street artists.
These are all well, I've kind of done this umbrella because street artist is kind of a niche-y thing and it's a restricting thing, and graffiti is graffiti. So I've done this urban artists, people who work within the urban landscape. So that includes photography, that includes there's a lady that I know, Valerie Larco. She actually does paintings of graffiti.
Okay, which is a nice tie-in, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lovely tie-in, you know. But that took 2 weeks of manic preparation. Just before that, I was like, we're going to launch it on New Year's Day, and we ended up connecting with Lady Pink.
I saw Jelly's on there.
Jelly's there
because she's got her mural.
Lady Pink is, and again, this is an extension of Leake Street.
Yeah.
I'm talking to the first ever female tagger in New York City.
That's right.
Pitching the idea of an exhibition. She suggests all these artists, these amazing artists, who now I'm connected with.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And it's not about me. My ego thinks it is, but it isn't, you know, and I'm able to shine more so because I'm not having to prove myself.
You haven't got time to prove yourself.
I haven't.
To be fair.
You know, I feel so much more comfortable sharing the space and enjoying other people's artwork, and it just makes my creativity all the better for it, really.
Amazing. So this behind us.
Yes.
Let's just talk a little bit about this. So when I met you and I said, please be one of our sentiment artists, because the sentiment collection is all about connecting. It's all about a connection through art, which
very
was
similar.
It was you. And you were like, of course. And then we had an exhibition here, and you created your sentiment piece live.
Yes.
That was the first time we'd had that here as well. And it made me then go, of course, that's what we need to do. We should always have somebody creating live work. For the reason you said before, like people coming to Leake Street, seeing an artist actually creating, going, oh my God, they actually do make that. It doesn't just appear. It's not magic. Someone has to create this.
Yes.
You were there creating this. And watching you in your zone, you know, things were going on around you, people were talking, they were drinking, and you were just focused, and this appeared.
Well, what was interesting about this, so it's on the floor, and I started but then people, artists actually, started coming up and interacting. And what's really useful about that is because my ego brain is concentrating on the conversation.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, my creativity gets on the job of doing the creativity. And that is why I love it when people in Leake Street come and talk to me, because then I'm not trying to be perfect with whatever it is I'm creating. This, incidentally, is the last, in this style, with these creatures, it's the last time that I'm doing this.
I know.
Because I'm now completely freed myself to create a new project, which is Max the Virus.
Yay.
So this is really, really quite special because it is literally the last one.
Yeah, and it's going to dissolve.
Well, similar to it's
So
quite
turning
interesting
into,
actually.
Yeah, so the little corner now shows we've taken some pieces out of it, the jigsaw shape. And then as people want to connect with you, they can have a piece of this artwork, which is quite a statement piece as well. As you said, it's the last of this creation that you're going to do. So
it's really important actually. It's a very profound piece because of what it represents in terms of, being able to, I think you can get stuck in a rut being as a creative. It reminds me of Picasso with his the blue period and then Cubism, and then he was like literally put the creative guillotine and freed himself and started something else.
Yeah.
So for me, this stuff was amazing. I had a great time with it, but it was time to move on. And Max the Virus. So Max the Virus is really exciting because Max, I do AI art.
Yeah.
And there's a big kind of backlash with AI art. But what I do with my AI art is I use it as a springboard for inspiration. So I don't use the AI image specifically as they are. It's almost like
It's like your Pinterest board.
It's a Pinterest, absolutely. But you're much more engaged with it because you're putting the words in to create it.
Yeah.
And I was using DALL-E, and I was, mucking around with like street art characters, cute, and using all these words. And somebody mentioned, why didn't you try a virus character? For some random reason. But there's no random to it. And I did this one character and immediately hooked into it.
Yeah.
Took that image, created it in my own style, kind of the echo of the past, and then suddenly Max the Virus appeared.
What's been really nice is watching it, because I was talking to
You were there at the beginning.
and then watching it as it kind of, it was great because you were sending me little updates. I was like, oh my god, and then all of a sudden these portraits were appearing.
Yes.
These Max the Virus portraits. I was like, wow, how did it go from this to this? I know how, because it's your brain.
It's gone really quickly because, and again, Leake Street. We had a notification from the people that run the space that the German company were interested in doing a piece on Leake Street. So they chose 5 streets in London,
Right.
a German television program, and one of them was Leake Street. And would I like to be interviewed as somebody who uses the space?
Yeah.
So of course I'm doing Max the Virus, and now Max the Virus has had his German debut on TV, and there's me being dubbed. But that's how quick it is. That's all down to Leake Street.
Like a virus.
Like a virus. Actually, it's a creative virus.
Yeah.
You go down there and you come out and you want to create.
Your pandemic.
That is Leake Street is it's almost like a rip in the fabric of the banality of a city landscape. It is that underbelly.
That's a quote.
It's an underbelly. It's that rich. It's here now. All we need to do is play some crazy ass, punk music and jump around like loons and get that physical energy going.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, and then the whole thing will explode. I was just talking to you earlier on, and I think it's worth mentioning here.
Yeah.
The 3 things to do as an artist. To essentially, this is what Leake Street's taught me.
Yeah.
The first one is obviously, my job is to create. Regardless of what's happening around me at any given moment, do something creative.
Yeah.
So you could be in the depths of despair, or you could be as happy as Larry, whatever, do some creativity.
Absolutely right.
And the second piece is share it. You don't have to do the social media thing, but send a picture to somebody you know on your phone and go, I've made this today. Because the giving, it's a gift to other people to share your artwork.
Yeah.
Because it may inspire them, it may make them laugh, or it may make them have an adverse reaction. At least they're having a reaction, and that speeds up. But the last one is to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's exactly what we're doing now. That's why I'm really excited for you, because what you're doing here is that third thing.
Yeah.
You're creating a conversation which expresses a narrative, and that sells.
Yeah.
people love to invest in narrative.
Yeah.
You
But I
know.
think we've become at a time now where we need to see things moving as well. We need to see the artist talking and understand them a little bit more. So that visual thing is really important.
Definitely.
But the creative thing, when you're a creative person, you don't create, it pulls you into that hole, doesn't it? Because you suck back and it's like feeding this energy. You're feeding your energy. And if you don't feed that energy, you wither.
You wither because you haven't. You can go today. We can go after this. We can go right. Let's go to the Tate. It's literally just a few. Well, it's not round the corner, but
It's not far.
in London terms, it's like round the corner. And we can walk in, and we can come out, and a whole new project will appear.
Yeah.
Or we can go to Shoreditch and wander around and see all the crazy maverick images of murals and paste ups and stencils and hear music. Or you can go up to Soho. There are plenty of places. That's why London is so amazing, because it offers a smorgasbord of different experiences. That means you're constantly ahead of your game if you choose to connect with it. But if you sit at home and you've got this, or in your studio, and you've got this kind of like small, there's nothing wrong in that, but the energy withers quite quickly.
Yeah, you need to feed it.
You need to feed it. Can you imagine open studios? There's this thing in Cornwall, where I'm from. I think that's where the open studios originated from, and on a certain kind of festival or a time frame, you are able to go into people's homes and see their artwork.
Brighton are good for that, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're brilliant for that. You can go in, walking into their homes.
Amazing, because you have a conversation.
Idea.
But it's I've been to art fairs. It's so funny. I was in an art fair recently, and the work was on the wall, and as the artist, I was standing there, but I wasn't doing anything. So there was this really awkward thing where people were coming around looking at the artwork, and you wanted to stand back to give them time to appreciate the artwork, but you felt compelled to talk to them. And there was this weird kind of dynamic, and it felt awkward. But if you walk in and you see the artist working on a piece that then you could potentially buy, you're seeing the piece
I think
created.
people are more comfortable observing that kind of thing as well, and not pressurised.
But when you go, I went to the one recent last year. I can't remember which one. It was in Shoreditch, and the artists looked so uncomfortable. They would just stand there going,
like on a market store.
like a market store.
Come and buy.
buy. But if they were talking about their work, if they was had the opportunity to talk about their work, the dynamic changes and it becomes much more exciting.
Of course it does, because then they get your energy.
Yeah. So,
which is a powerful thing.
How do you feel about the whole of this? And
I absolutely love this. I love it so much, and every time I look at it, I see something different in it as well.
Yeah.
And I know it will take a while for it to dissolve, but I'm very happy for it to take a long time to dissolve, because then we have it and appreciate it.
Well, there's a history of
for that longer.
That's what I love about this with the pieces. You can't really see it with
I'll show.
Each piece, you are sharing that energy with other people. That it's sharing the history, it's sharing the narrative, it's sharing the intention, and that is almost like, here, have a little bit of inspiration, and see what you can do with it. I have one of these pieces. You gave me one of these pieces.
You've got number one.
I've got number one, but it's that for me. Every time I touch it, every time I look at it, it makes me smile, and that smile can create a project.
And it transports you back to that moment.
Yes,
as well.
it does.
And I think the story behind this, when someone does have one, the story is you there, you here, creating it, it then becoming this. The last point that you're going to create anything like this.
That's it.
There's so much attached to it, isn't there?
There's a whole history. There's a whole history there.
And there's a thread of gold that runs through each piece, which is all about the connection. And anyone that owns one, like I said, will be connected directly to you, which is a beautiful thing.
It's important, especially in the world we live in these days, where you can be so connected on social media, but are you really connected with these people? I had, I looked at my Instagram, I got like nearly 8,000 followers, but I'm like, who are these people? I don't know.
You.
Apparently they know me. Some might be bots, but I'm like, I don't actually know. I know some of them, but that's a lot of people that I don't
social
know.
media thing.
You know, I would love to do a project which means that each one of those people can collaborate with me and create something.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah. Oh my God, there's not enough hours in the day.
I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow.
Tomorrow never
Yeah.
comes. So the next thing for you, before we wrap up for now, is
I'm going to work out on Max the Virus portraits for the rest of 2023. That's the most important thing. To meet people like yourself, because I'm going to do one for you, and that portrait then will invariably become other things.
Yeah.
It's the portraits are the seeds to potential projects. That's how I've done one.
Do yourself.
I do. I have actually done one recently, and again, this is Leake Street, but the whole connection thing meant that I did somebody pretty famous, and I've done the portrait, and I'm getting goosebumps. The potential from it is really exciting. I have no idea, but I'm now connected with that person, and that's really exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know where that's going to go, but the whole idea of planting these seeds is exciting. And of course, still doing the Leake Street Gallery start.
And how many times the word connection comes up?
Yeah.
Connect.
And talk about it.
And talk about it, yeah, which is what we're doing. So over the week, from when we do your first post, we're going to be attaching and talking a lot about what you've got coming up.
Okay.
So there might be some more things that will be...
I think there might be some exciting things coming up. There's definitely things there's definitely things coming up, but I have to wait until I can say certain things, but it's exciting.
Yeah. Thank you for being
No, thank you. I really
part of our little family here.
Thank you for putting me in the light.
in the spotlight.
In the spotlight. There's your little thing. You put it in the spotlight.
In the spotlight.
In the
Artist
spotlight.
In the spotlight. So yes, we're going to show more of you over the week.
Cool.
And then if there's anything, you can check out Marc's page on the website to do with the gallery on bickertongracegallery.com and find out how you can connect directly with Marc as well. But for now, keep busy, keep creating.
Will do.
Keep that energy going,
Will
because I'm going to
do.
keep zapping it.
Bless
We'll
you.
speak soon. Take care.
Bye.